So let's start right there.
Yeah.
I think some people, when you talk about writing down the question, what were they thinking here, especially with the quarterback, would have expected you to include the Giants and Dave Gettleman.
Yeah, sure.
Taking Daniel Jones at 6. And I
Right.
know you didn't love him as a player.
Right.
Like many people, you wondered about taking him that high.
Yep.
You've had 3 days to think about it.
Right.
What's your feeling on how it all went down and the fact that he is now the Giants' future?
Okay, it is. I have a lot of feelings that have come about throughout the weekend. I think the first thing is, hey, of course, yes, I don't believe he was worth the number 6 pick of the draft. Like I said on Friday, I'm going to restate it one more time. But I'm not mad at the Giants for taking a guy that they believe was the future of their franchise at number 6. You know, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, they should have waited at 17. They could have got him at 17. You know, maybe they could have, maybe. And it certainly seems like this now in the aftermath that, yes, they probably could have. But you just don't roll the dice on a situation like that when you know he's the guy. Now, yes, I think, first of all, the conversation around this guy is completely different if he gets drafted at 17 or if he gets drafted at the top of the second round where the New York Giants, had a pick there as well. I think, okay, then people are able to swallow it a little bit better and go, oh, okay, this guy, I like it. He could be the future of this guy, huh? But at number 6, people want sex appeal. And I think a lot of just even the normal fan watched the highlights of Daniel Jones on Thursday night and they just went, that doesn't look that special.
Right.
And I get that. I totally understand that. This is where I want everybody to pump their brakes, though, okay? Let's, not just eviscerate the fucking kid, okay, before he even takes a snap at practice.
Give him a chance.
Give him a chance.
Right.
Yes. And I'd like to point out, there's been worse first-round picks at quarterback than Daniel Jones. There's a lot of things I like about what he does to translate to being a franchise quarterback.
Who comes to mind? You said there's been a lot of worse first-round picks.
Okay, well, hey, this one is always going to be at the top of my. Blake Bortles at number 3.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take Daniel Jones 365, 24/7, 7 days a week, twice on Sunday, over Blake Bortles at 3. Christian Ponder, okay. Blaine Gabbert.
Same draft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jake Locker, I think, is maybe the draft
Locker,
before
Gabbert,
that?
Ponder, I think it was all the same.
All the same. Okay, so there's what. I at the time did not have Johnny Manziel as a first-round quarterback. If anybody goes back and watches anything I did during that time, I feel better at Daniel Jones' future in the NFL than I did better than Johnny Manziel, who got picked at 22. Okay, Paxton Lynch, feel better about that.
Wow.
Tim Tebow, okay. Again, I'm taking Daniel Jones. I mean, Tim Tebow was drafted. Why? Because of his team around him, and the team had success. And for some reason, some people wanted to give him the credit for everything that went on in Florida. You know, I'll even go as far as saying Teddy Bridgewater at 32. Yeah. I mean, I think Daniel Jones is a better prospect than all of these guys.
Okay.
Now, having said that, I understand that people are going to go, but you had Jarrett Stidham and Ryan Finley in front of him. I think all of them are better than all the guys I just mentioned too.
Right.
Jarrett Stidham had a chance to maybe come out 2 years ago and was viewed as a first-round pick. Why? Because his team was good. You know, Drew Lock, the same thing. You know, 2 years ago, he comes out when he leads college football with touchdown passes. You know, he's going to be a first-round pick. Now and then a new coach comes in, and he's part of a shitty offense, and his stats don't look the same, and the team doesn't win, and his value gets knocked down. So there's a lot of things I like about Daniel Jones. I do think we need to give him a chance. We are being a little overly critical.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
And I think once we get away from the fact that everybody wanted to talk about on draft night, he wasn't worth a pick that high.
Right.
Let's get over that, just like you've pointed out.
Yep.
And I think it's good context to say there are a number of other quarterbacks in the last 5 or 6 years that you feel were worse picks.
Definitely.
Getting past it, I think he walks into a great situation too. If he is the intellectual, cerebral quarterback that they loved about him, if that is indeed true,
yes.
Is there a better situation than walking in and learning from a super smart, kind quarterback?
Right.
He can learn from him. He's not under any pressure to play right away. So putting aside the criticism that came out right away, I don't know if a quarterback recently has ended up in a better spot in terms of what he's best at. Supposed to be a super smart guy.
Yep.
Not going to have to play right away.
Right.
He can learn from one of the best pros in the last 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. And a guy that's got very little ego, and Eli Manning is a good team guy, has all those things that you like as far as being that mentor-type quarterback. Paul, I think it's a very good point you bring up. It's a great situation for him. I mean, it's really, yes, a no-lose situation as long as he doesn't let, assholes like me and everybody in the media who said it was a bad pick at number 6 get him down. Don't listen to anybody like us.
But a lot of people aren't coming off of that. You're not coming off the point that, hey, I didn't love this kid in the draft.
Yes.
But now that we've stated that, let's get beyond it and think about some next level portions of this conversation.
Yeah,
too.
exactly right. Let's move on. Yeah, I don't think he was worth the number 6 pick of the draft. If he was taken at 17, I still probably would have given some pushback. Yes, I would have. But I understand what they saw and what they see as far as a guy that could be the future of their organization. Hey, he's big. His arm is good. It's not great. I wish he would fix a few things mechanically. He is a good athlete. But number one, yes, it seems like they drafted him more on his smarts and his intangibles, ability to process, make decisions in the pocket, pick up an offense quickly. And to what you said, there is no pressure on him.
Yeah.
He's in a situation where it's great. Two, this is a team that's rebuilding their offense, and it's becoming a very quarterback-friendly personnel group. I know Odell Beckham Jr. is not there, but having Sterling Shepard and Evan Ingram and some of the other weapons they have, and getting a Zeitler at guard, and another guard in the draft last year, and Nate Solder at left tackle, and Saquon Barkley at tailback. There's a lot of positive things about this, and here's the other thing that's added to this. Daniel Jones, the number 6 pick of the draft. First off, Eli Manning, as you heard me state before, hey, yeah, he's towards the bottom of football as starting quarterbacks, if not outside the starting 32. I mean, I could sit here and
really outside 32.
I think there's a few backups that I could come up with and go, yeah, I think they're a little better than Eli Manning at this point of his career. Doesn't mean you can't win with Eli Manning, and I don't mean to do that personally to Eli Manning, but it is year 15, 16, so that conversation comes into play at this time of your career. But I think the thing I would say too, Daniel Jones is going to go out in the practice field, and the first time they see him next to Eli Manning, he's going to open eyes because they're going to go, wow, he's as big as Eli. Yep. Whoa, he's a lot faster than Eli. They're going to go, whoa, his arm's stronger than Eli. And from that standpoint, he's in a very positive spot, too, to where he can kind of go in and not only be the young 6 pick of the draft guy, but he's going to be able to puff out his chest and be like, right, I'm the big arm guy here. I'm the big athlete guy. And that goes to selling the player to your team as well.
As for being that 6th pick, one of the conversations that has developed from that selection, Dave Gettleman has come out and said, I knew for a fact that some other teams wanted him before 17 because he was asked, obviously, why didn't you just wait till 17 to take him? And people now want to take shots and say, how did you know that? You didn't know that. My thought is, we don't know what he was told. So you can't call him a liar. You can't say, oh, that was great information, too. We don't know what he knew. If you're a Giants fan, go ahead and trust him that this was my guy, and I was worried that he wouldn't be there at 17.
That's right. You trust him, trust the Giants that they've made the proper evaluation. Again, I'm not going to get mad at a team for drafting a guy who they think is the guy, even though I don't agree with it. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and be narcissistic Chris and think I know every answer in the world. That's not true. I could be very wrong about this whole thing, and I will admit it when that day comes. Now, David Gettleman, I think where he's wrong there is the way he phrased it. Don't say, I know for a fact, because that's what happens when you say, I know for a fact. Everyone looks in and goes, well, let me see if this is a fact. And all of a sudden, Peter King writes an article, Football Morning in America, and he tells us the team that we thought was one of the fact teams had Drew Lock as their number 1 rated quarterback. So that right away, and it doesn't mean there's still not 2 other teams that he's respected.
Right.
He just shouldn't have said fact. He should have just said, I know there was at least 2 teams that were very interested in quarterbacks and like Daniel Jones, and I didn't want to risk it. I think that's where he got himself in trouble, is the way he states his case there, to now for all of us to go, well, we don't know for a fact. Nobody knows anything for a fact.
Easy to understand why he was feeling defensive, though.
Yeah, I get it.
Those kind of things come out.
And he did a lot of other good things in the draft. So I think, as much as, we want to pile on Dave Gettleman, okay, Dexter Lawrence was a great pick. Julian Love is a great pick. The kid they got from Old Dominion, O'Shane, I can't even say his name, Eximons or whatever. Zimenez, thank you very much. I think he is a phenomenal football player.
Julian Love in the 4th, you mentioned his name, but didn't you think he was worth a second-round pick?
I did, yeah. I really did. Yeah. If you told me the first pick of the 2nd round was Julian Love and not Byron Murphy, I would have gone, okay. No problem. I got it. They're very similar. DeAndre Baker at the end of the 1st, listen, I know I've questioned that, but maybe they have a different plan for him. Like I've said, he's kind of a safety nickel type of guy. So if he does that, I'm going to go, ooh, I like that pick. But if they put him outside and think he's going to be an island corner, then I'm going to go, you got to prove it to me there first. But there's other things that were positive about this draft, and Dave Gettleman's not an idiot. I'm going to stick up for the guy a little bit right now. He is not an idiot. He knows how to build a football team. He's proven that, and he believes in big people up front and being physical, and he's already kind of set that culture going here in New York with some of the moves he's made up front on both sides of the football.
All right, dust settling from a lot of these main quarterback topics that came up.
Well, one thing, too, you know who got a free pass, too, with overdrafting a guy in the top 10?
Who's that?
Because of Daniel Jones, is the number 4 pick, Colin Farrell. I mean, Mike Mayock came out and said they were trying to trade to 13 because they thought he would still be on the board there.
Yeah.
So, you know, they got a little overshadowed with that. But, again, if you got a guy and he's your guy, who's to say who's right or wrong with overdrafting, right? I mean,
as long as they turn out to be players, people are going to drop that overdrafting label if they can play.
Exactly right. Like, would we be mad if the Saints took Alvin Kamara at the top of the 2nd round instead of the 4th round if they were convinced he was going to be the Alvin Kamara that he is?
Worth a first now.
Would have been right. That's what I mean. So, you know, that's another conversation for another day. But if a team or an organization believes somebody's the guy, I don't get mad at them for taking a guy maybe 10 spots too early or 15 spots too early.
That's clearly how the Giants felt about Daniel Jones.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.